Hi guys, welcome to Shakti Ascension Saga. Here is my guest, Patricia. Hello. And I met is it Patricia or Patricia?
Patricia.
Patricia. Okay, I almost got it in the first time. Okay. So Patricia and I met at this beautiful conference called Women Who Dare to Desire, right? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is, by a beautiful Deborah. And we connected straight away, haven't we? You saw me coming down from the toilet or going to the toilet. And the rest is history.
Yeah.
We started chatting and added each other on Facebook. And I am sure that you have a really, really big story. I have heard, but I would like you to share that story with us.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to do something. Before you do that, let's retract. Can we just center ourselves and give this interview to universe? So then whatever needs to be said will be said. I do not have any questions set because the first interview I did flowed very nicely without me having any preparation, and I think it was just perfect this way. So let's just divine guide us. Okay, so close your eyes with me, please, and take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and release it out through the mouth. Heavenly Universe, please accept this interview of Ascension Saga Episode 2 with Patricia with all its spiritual gifts, and make us the instruments of your being. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Did you feel that?
Yeah.
Whoa, that was a powerful shift. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I have been super lazy today. Haven't been feeling too well, but clearly this meant to happen because as of this centering, I literally just had this like, woof, feel brighter. Anyways, let's come back to you, darling. Please tell me about your ascension journey. What was the event, that something, whatever has happened in your life that just catapulted you into the biggest, hugest awakening of your entire life?
It was more than one thing.
Of course.
Obviously it was. Yeah, it is always, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I kind of been like kind of spiritual all my life. I was very interested in astrology when I was young, and there was always something, and I kind of believed in fate, but I had no idea what it was, and I really didn't.
Can I ask, what's your star sign?
Aquarius.
Of course.
Of course.
Aquarius rising here, so yep, I know that everything is interesting.
Yeah. And but I just didn't like religion. I left the Catholic Church at 14. I knew it wasn't for me, but I dabbled into different religions still, and I was like, no, this is not my thing. It's weird. I don't know. And it went on and on for years and years and years. And
so which religions have you dabbled in? Just give us a few.
I've been raised Catholic. I say raised Catholic. I was like, Christian and all that jazz. Went through with all the rituals, but it wasn't that my family was overly religious, so it wasn't like a big deal, but still went to church and stuff. And then I had a Muslim boyfriend.
Okay.
And reading the Quran was quite nice. It was like that. It actually makes sense what's in there, right? Because everyone was always like, this is bullshit. And it was the time when all the terrorism came up as well, right? 9/11. And I was like, that is just so bullshit, because what's in the Quran is actually very, very peaceful and very grounding and everything. So I dabbled in that as well, but still the shell of religion just didn't fit. I had a look at Buddhism, and that's probably something that resonates most with me, but I didn't really go into that path because I was adamant religion is just not for me. As soon as it gets organized, I'm out.
That's it.
Yeah. And I don't know then. And this is funny because 2012 was a massive, huge year for a lot of us. I bet you had a fun year 2012 as well. Hashtag sarcasm, right?
Yep. That's what I'm
2012 was, I think, when something happened. I got the diagnosis cancer in 2012. I went through chemotherapy, lost my hair. What
cancer was it?
It was Hodgkin lymphoma. So it was my lymph nodes here were all swollen up.
Oh, darling.
But thankfully it was an early stage and it was really easy to treat. But it was a shit year, man. And at the end of the year, I was fired. So great.
If that wasn't enough, right? It's like, oh,
yeah, exactly.
What? You didn't do it that well. Fuck it.
I know. I know. And I remember it was the 3rd of May 2012. I got the diagnosis and I went to work, right? I took my car to work and there was Adele on the radio, Someone Like You. And the truth of it hit me during that car ride. And at that traffic light, when that song was playing, I was in Germany back then. I looked up to, I don't know, heaven or the sky, whatever I saw there. I looked up and I said, I'm not gonna die in this fucking country. Do you hear me? And that something was happening there. I had no idea what was happening, but I said it in English as well, which was so funny. And I always had the dream to move to London, right? And I never did. I was like always too afraid.
Oh, funnily enough, that was my dream too.
And I was too afraid. And then when I lost that job as well, and obviously my home, because I couldn't pay for it, so I called them up. I said, I have to leave next month because I can't pay rent anymore. We need someone else to move in. Yada yada yada. But I didn't dare to move abroad, so I moved back to where I came from in Germany. So I was in Southwest at the time, and I went back to the Northwest. And then it was like history repeating itself. Like I had another job I didn't like. I got involved with another cancer guy. Cancer guys do not do well with Aquarius women, I'm telling you.
Not with Sag either. I'm a Sagittarius with the Aquarius rising. They fucking kill me.
Oh, fucking hell. Like, I love Cancer women, but Cancer men, nah, I can't deal with them.
Oh my God. It's just like, what's going on with their emotions?
I know.
Like, oh, you're killing me.
Exactly. Apart from my dog. I love my dog. He's Cancer.
Oh, is he? Okay. That's the only man that...
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, another disaster with a man. And then another disaster with a job, because when I came actually from London, from a week in London, from holidays, I came to the office, went through 300 emails, and they gave me a redundancy agreement.
And then email?
No. Like I was literally kind of working the whole morning, and midday when finally someone came from the headquarters, they sat me down with HR and they gave me that agreement. I was like, what the fuck? And it's as if that wasn't enough, because I wasn't leaving. I wasn't going anywhere, right? My mum died.
Oh, darling.
And then around Easter, so about, I'm getting goosebumps as well every time I talk about it. And a lot of my friends, supposed friends, let me down. They really fucking let me down. I was not able to figure out how my light switches worked in my own flat. I stood in front of the light switch. I was like, how do I turn the light on? Like, it was crushing me. And I never asked for help. I'm someone who doesn't, I'm Aquarius, I'm independent, right? Yeah. I never asked for help, but I did, and they didn't come. They just didn't come. They had excuses. And then I did a thing, and finally, after years, I remembered every time I make a decision based on my intuition, it's the right decision. Every time I switch on my mind for making a decision, just doesn't work. So I listened to my intuition, and my intuition told me, leave. So I went online.
Goosebumps. Look at this.
So I went online, P&O Ferries, and looked at the date, 1st of June, one-way ticket, gives me 5 weeks to prepare. I'm gone. Mm-hmm. And then I made that dream come true. But
London is where the shit hits the fan, isn't it?
Man, like the pattern kept repeating. I was in jobs I didn't like. I got to meet people that were not good for me, and I got I was made redundant. I lost homes, and I lost homes over and over and over again. I lost jobs over and over and over again, being pushed away, until it happened again last year. But by then I already knew like something had changed, because at the end of 2018 I was in a place where I was so fed up with my own coping mechanisms. Like, I was so fucking fed up. And then in January I sat at this corporate event that my company held, and I sat there in the back of the room. I was like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Can I just interrupt? Can I just ask more questions?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I thought you was English. I really did think that, but now I'm finding out you're German. Okay.
Yeah, I'm German.
Nice to meet you. I really thought you was English. Second of all, what were your coping mechanisms, if you don't mind to
well, mainly ignoring all bad emotions, mm-hmm. and then either eating them or sleeping them away, or just like hiding from all responsibilities, like literally moping and just embracing depression for all it is, right? Just really getting into it and really ignoring everything else. The only thing I sometimes did was take care of the dog. That was my main thing. Like, anything else, I don't care. I don't care about my own health. I don't care about anything else. It was just very lethargic energy and very addictive behavior. Mm-hmm. And later smoking came into the picture as well, so I did that as well.
Smoking what?
Cigarettes. Just cigarettes. I had to turn 30 to smoke something else first.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I had never had that experience, and yeah, I might like it, but it's not something I would usually do. Yeah. No, but cigarettes. And then I worked in a pub, and there was a lot of drinking as well. So those kind of things, and it just all built up, and I was so fed up with it all. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I read a couple of books.
Which are?
I was always big into like personal development and self-improvement. And since I wanted to get to the core of emotional eating, I looked that up online, and I found Mel Wells.
Okay, we know Mel well. I met her.
Did you?
Yeah, my best friend Jenna, she knows Mel well very well. So yeah, I kind of met her when she was doing like this workshop. So yeah.
Yeah, so I read her 2 books, and I joined her Goddess Collective in 2019. And that started like a whole journey, because when you find one sort of teacher, you find your teacher when you're ready as a student, right? So where you find kind of one teacher, you find all the others as well. So I had a lot of things going on, and then I went really deep, and I was like, so what do I want to do with my life? Because I had my dream job with my dream salary in my dream city.
What was it?
I
Give
was
us details.
I was a marketing manager in a really cool kind of start-uppy company, and in North London. I was still living in West London, obviously, because I'm a West London girl.
Okay, okay. I'm Southeast kind of girl, but okay.
And yeah, and I was earning 46k, and that was
that's quite
yeah.
good. Oh.
And I hated it after a while. Like in the beginning, it was all new and fancy and cool, and I put all my effort in it. But after a while, it was just like, no, I don't want to do this. I just don't.
And
And
how
then I
long
went,
would it take for you to kind of take that mask off and be like, oof, that's actually
5
not
months.
5 months? Wow.
Because I got into that cycle of staying off sick with anxiety and depression again. And that has happened over and over and over and over again. Every single time, for every single job I had, it just kept repeating itself. And the minute I resigned and walked out, I was relieved. I wasn't afraid, although shit hit the fan afterwards, right? But I was relieved, and I was like, okay, I've done something right here. And that was the moment when I decided I will trust my intuition unconditionally and unapologetically, because otherwise I won't ever be happy. I will go back to corporate jobs and just sell my soul for money I can get in some other way. I just know. I just have to figure out how.
Yeah. Can I just say something what I just noticed? For you guys don't know, me and Patricia, we tried to get this booked in for like a month, yeah? And it was me most of the time that would be like, I'm not feeling too well, or I'm busy, or I'm this, or my Zoom didn't work. Like there was one time when we spent half an hour plus on Zoom trying to figure it out, and it just didn't work. Other times I was like too emotional, too this, too that. It makes sense now. I was mirroring a little bit, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Because of your past, how you was with your other work, right? You was anxiety ridden. I was like that. So interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then shit hit the fan, because it was hard to make money. It was really hard.
In
And
London, in West London especially, I bet.
yeah, raising 1,400 quid just for rent was not doable.
Wow. You lived in a posh place, girl.
No, it was a 2-bedroom flat. It wasn't that posh. It was not posh at all, to be fair.
But you know, to have a 2-bedroom flat, let alone 1-bedroom flat in London is pricey. But you had 2, so.
Yeah, I had 2, because you know the minute I said I had resigned, because I kind of had to as well. Otherwise, I would have been fired anyway. So there's that. But the minute I had that news that there wouldn't be any income coming in, my flatmate said she would leave because it was too insecure for her. And I was like, great.
Wow.
Another couple of hundred that I won't have. Yeah, that was pretty shit. Had to move out, live with a friend until the end of the year, then live with another supposed friend until very recently, a couple of weeks ago, and really had to get out there because it was a very toxic situation, and it turned even more toxic after I moved out a couple of days after.
Oh, is this when something was happening online?
Yeah, there was something happening online,
Oh,
some weird shit, yeah. And now I'm here. I'm in Milton Keynes now.
okay.
And I never dreamt of being in Milton Keynes, believe me. In fact, I wanted to really, really just pull away from that kind of small town. I mean, it's 200,000 people here, right? But still, it's a small town coming from 8 million in London. But yeah, it was so hard.
I guess you can't hide, right? I for some reason I'm feeling that you want to hide. Is that, I don't know, because you say, "Oh, coming out from 8 million people, now it's 200,000." It's kind of like suffocating for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely suffocating, but it's better than where I was before. The last 6 months I spent in a village with 1,000 people. There was a shop, a pub, and a chippy.
Okay, so you are improving.
Yeah, I'm definitely improving. And my aim is to get back to London by my birthday in January. So
good luck.
Thanks. But what I discovered over that year was it was so hard for me to make a living off of what I was doing, which was coaching, because I still didn't believe in myself, and I still wasn't clear on who I wanted to serve as well, which was, I don't know, the tagline was always there, but I just didn't see it. So my tagline was always "shut up the demons." Mm-hmm. And take charge of your life. And I was like, shut up the demons. There's something. So I went from general life coaching to mental health coaching, and now I'm in this spiritual world finally, where I feel home, calling myself the spiritual alchemist, and I'm doing shadow work. And finding that way, although it was really fucking painful, and I had to.
Well, you was doing your own shadow work, girl. You know, exactly. you can't teach someone shadow work if you haven't done it yourself.
Exactly. So I was confronted with a lot of shadows of my own, and but somehow that was exactly it. And now it's slowly growing. Like that, I have a tiny little fan base I'm really proud of, and I do my moon circles and this and that, and somehow I feel like, yeah, this is it. This is where I get fulfillment. Mm-hmm. And I've woken up, and I think we will keep waking up all our lives.
Yeah.
But I'm at a point now where I can say, like, yeah, I can see the truth now. I can see my own truth, and I can see the truth. Like, I've recently watched the Matrix movies again.
It makes sense now.
That's a fucking documentary, mate. That's.
I always was meaning to watch it. I don't know when. I was actually looking to watch it because I was like, it will all fucking make sense now.
It makes so much sense. Like, I watched the first movie when it came out, but I didn't watch the others. But now I just binge watched them all. I was like, oh my God, this is a fucking documentary. We're literally plugged in to a matrix.
Yeah.
And, you kind of always knew, but you didn't dare to, especially when you have friends who judge you for your spirituality as well. That comes up with a lot of people I work with as well. Yeah. Like, they feel so ashamed, and they are being shamed, and I was being judged and shamed for being woo-woo and out there. Yeah. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Can't you see the I mean, I also don't want to come from like a condescending place or something, because that is just spiritual bypassing. Yeah. I know we will all wake up eventually.
Or not, because not all of us are meant to wake up. Not all of us are spiritual beings.
But yeah,
it's a hard pill to swallow, but
yeah, it's really hard.
It is,
yeah. I'm trying not to be in any way condescending, but what feels hard about that is that it's really frustrating, because I've fought very hard to get where I am now and be happy with myself, be happy with my body, be happy with my personality, be happy about everything I've achieved, even though I've been in the shits again and again and again. I look back not with shame, but with pride, because I've made it. I've made it through that. And for someone then to dismiss all that and say, you're so out there, I can't deal with that shit. That's good. Yeah, okay, goodbye then.
Yeah. But
But
can I just say something, darling? It's also because of you as an Aquarius woman.
Oh yeah.
You know, you are not supposed to fit in.
I know.
You know, when someone says to me, you are weird, I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's such a compliment. But this is all thanks to the peace dealer. You know, I think probably you have seen it. I repost his stuff all the time. He's been teaching us since 2015. No, 2016, I think. I don't know. Because I don't know, 2017, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, around that time. Self-worth and all of these things, you know, like he basically set the foundation for me, you know, for this. And one of the things was this, you know, when people say you're weird, you say thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because you're the same. You know, so I truly believe that, you know, the people who don't know themselves will always feel threatened by people who know themselves. That's just the way that it is, you know, it's a law in a way. And this is why we are paving the path, you know, for whoever needs to come with us. They will come when the time is right. And most of the time, these same friends that talk shit behind your back, that fucking, you know, like take the piss and all of that, eventually they come like, I'm sorry. I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah. No, you're sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, I don't want to be friends with you anymore, but thank you. Gratitude.
No, they say first they will judge you, then they'll be jealous, and then they'll come to you for advice.
Yeah, that's it.
So
we are really, like, we are so in alignment, you know. And like for me personally, I have struggled with the same things you have struggled, you know. The shame for me is huge. It's so huge. I carry it every day, every minute. I mean, in certain situations it crops up much more because I have a past, which I'm not gonna go into on here yet. I'm not ready. But for me, like what you teach your people, you know, integrating the shadow. You know, I'm still really, I wouldn't, it's shame, but I'm not ashamed. So I crossed that boundary, not boundary, yeah, I crossed that, you know, cliff of I'm ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of it, but I'm still feeling like shame, you know. So I totally understand where you're coming from, you know. And it's so beautiful to finally be able to be like, you know, this is me.
Yeah.
This is my shit.
Yeah.
This is my good shit. And, you know, we unite and yeah, it's a beautiful soul. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. I noticed that. I was like, shit.
It's a nice conversation. I'm not sure I really have anything else to say. I'm just I feel very in tune with myself now, and I meditate a lot and do yoga and do all that new age woo-woo stuff, right? But at the same time, I take time to really sit with my emotions, especially with difficult emotions and disempowering emotions, and just really sit with them and look at.
Can you go into detail what they are? Like just examples of what those emotions could be, so the people who are watching, they would understand what we're talking about.
It could be shame and guilt. It could be, like, for instance, let's take, my favorite one. Let's take smoking, right? So I didn't even smoke for that long. Like I smoked for like 5 years. And I began when I was working the pub, and I had just lost my grandpa as well, so it was, and he was the one who raised me, so that was like my father dying, and it was a really hard time. And yeah, I coped with alcohol and cigarettes, and it kept going. And I'm weaning off now. I'm not quite 100% there yet, but I'm weaning off. And every time I do smoke a cigarette now, or I get another pack from the store, I'm like, okay, I feel all these emotions now, so I don't feel able to cope at the moment, because this is my coping mechanism again. And then I feel ashamed for not having the willpower, which is something society teaches us. That's just bullshit, right? The whole willpower thing around food and everything else is just bullshit. But I feel ashamed anyway. I feel guilty because I didn't keep my promise to myself, and all these things. But now I sit there and I feel these things, and sometimes I journal about them, and find other techniques to kind of get them out of there. Like I have a lot of shadow techniques that I teach and that I use as well. So I'm using those, and then what comes out is...
Can I just ask, are those techniques like NLP or like Ho'oponopo, or is it meditations or everything?
There are so many techniques. Like the one I always teach in my challenges is shadow journaling, which is really easy, because you simply just ask yourself, why do you feel or do you act in a certain way, and then you answer and keep answering in free writing, like until you come to a halt, kind of, where you say like, oh wait, there's no more why I can ask here, so I'll stay with this emotion and I'll look at it. And then there are other tools that for instance, what did I do in my program, like voice dialogue as well, which is similar to not voice, no, I was thinking of something else, but voice dialogue is something where you talk to your shadow.
As in talking. I know that one.
Yeah, you usually need someone to do that, so that's what I'm facilitating in my programs. But the way to do it with yourself is you could either go look in the mirror, or ask a friend to ask you certain questions, and you ask very, very basic questions, like you ask, what's your name, what do you look like, how do you feel like, does the person know you are there, things like that. And you get really, really acquainted with that shadow then.
Wow.
Yeah. So those things I use as well, and yeah, it's fucking eye-opening.
See, for me, because I used to, I smoked since I was 14, 12, I don't know, I started smoking fucking tree bulbs, whatever, like I went like from the nature, like, you know. And I was a really rebellious kid, and I have quit so many times. First time I quit was when I was 21, and I quit and I didn't smoke for 2 years, I think. But then I moved to London, and oh my God, I just partied my fucking head off. And I partied and I partied and I partied. And then when I moved here, because I've been living here on and off for 7 years, I started doing this mantra from Louise Hay's book or whatever, or from somewhere. And it was, I can't really remember the right words, but something along the lines, I thank you, I love you, thank you for this experience, and now you can leave, yeah? And it's much more better than what I just said, but along those lines, yeah? And you know what, after like saying it over and over, like for maybe 2 months, oh, that's it. I'm at peace with this habit now.
Right.
It served me well so far, and I'm at peace with this habit now. And over and over and over and over. And I quit. And I didn't smoke again for 6 months. But then I came back again, you know, because it was just like I was like this all the time, you know. And that's when you know, Stephen died. And then I went totally, wow, you know, drugs and alcohol and smoking, like 5 days benders and shit like that. But it had to happen because how it finished these habits is that I did bufo. It's a bufo alvarius. It's a sacred medicine from a toad. Probably you heard of Cambo, yeah?
Yeah.
So bufo is like a psychedelic, like a 5-medio something, DMT basically. And I got myself into a pickle after third time, because I was like, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna get smashed. That's a week after. No, actually 4 days after, and I had my resurrection, yeah? Like literal resurrection, like Jesus. I had a dream that I have been resurrected. Like I was fucking Jesus. And I got almost raped.
Oh my God.
I got myself into such a situation, and not many people, I don't really share it like this, but I got myself so fucked up high that I went looking for trouble. And I started talking to this guy whose name was Steven.
Huh.
And I ended up in his maid's house. The door was number 5, green door, like Steven's. And I was just talking about my experiences. I was talking how I almost got raped when I was 16 years old, and this and that. And this guy just kept pushing himself on me, and he was like, I know you love me. And I was taking the piss out of him, like my manner when I'm really like off my head, like you used to be, I would take the piss out of people, but for my own entertainment. I didn't even care about anyone else.
Yeah.
And the more I was doing that, the more he was like attaching to me. He was like, I know you love me. And I was like, fuck this, no, I don't love you. And he got me on the floor and like went on top of me, and I had to really wrestle him off me. Like, I don't know what would have happened. And his mate was like, what the fuck are you doing? This girl just told you that she almost got raped when she was 16 years old, and you're actually doing the same thing. So I ran away from there. I was not even in London. I don't know, like it was on the outskirts of London, and we met in London. So I don't know how, where, what, how has this happened, because I was so high. And then after that, I continued for 3 days to kind of come down from the experience I have had. But I didn't. Like after coming back home after it, I thought, you know what? I either fucking kill myself or I stop this.
Yeah.
And it's been 13 months. So I know that as well. For me, it had to be a bit more hardcore though, because I don't learn easily.
Yeah.
So yeah. So could I ask you to share anything that would potentially help guide somewhere, like into some sort of awakening to people that are suffering right now, who are going through dark night of the soul? Because I realized on the first episode that the reason I'm doing this is for people who just thinks, life is a fucking party. Oh, let's just get fucked. Let's just, whatever, stay in toxic relationships, be fucking unhappy, and that is that. But no, because it's, you will have to reincarnate, right? So you're going to repeat that shit all over again many times until you can get it. So the reason why I'm doing this is, so people like us, tell them we go through this shit many times, not just one lifetime, but we come out with all these tools that then can help us, and also you can come to us, I think this is what it's gonna be like, bringing all the healers together as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what this is gonna take the life of its own, but yeah, some tips, whatever comes to you right now, just give it to us.
I have a nice quote that I read on the tube once. Be the motivation, not the distraction.
Oh.
Live your life as if you are the motivation and not the distraction of your life. And then also, you have a purpose. You just don't know it yet. So you better make it your full-time fucking job to find that bloody purpose of yours. And you will suffer, and you'll feel all the emotions, and you'll do all the stupid shit, and you'll lose a lot of stuff. You lose money, you lose love, you lose people, you lose possessions, you will lose a lot of shit.
And you
But
have
it's not,
to. You have
you
to
have
lose
to.
it all.
You have to let go. And you'll come out of that alive, and you will have found your purpose. But you have to keep going. The only thing in life you cannot ever do is give up.
Yeah.
Do not give up on yourself,
and
ever.
you're gonna come out alive because previously you was dead.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like you will never be more alive than after coming out of these transformations and transformations and transformations.
Exactly.
And the next 6 months of our life is the biggest fucking transformation of our entire human fucking existence.
Yeah.
You know, so it's time. I mean, everyone is saying this, and it's just so fucking cliche. Like this, it's time.
Yeah, but it is like you feel the energies as well. Like it's unreal. My horoscope. I'm off on a tangent here, but it will make sense. My horoscope for weeks said two things, and that's connected to all the retrogrades at the moment, and Mars just hitting Aries, and the lunar eclipse on Sunday, right? It's all connected. And it said for weeks, it literally said like someone from the past will come back, and you will be in a business venture with someone you already know. Wow. When you read that in your horoscope, you better fucking believe it, because it literally just happened yesterday.
Wow.
Both.
Which horoscope was it?
I have an app that is called CoStar.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's based on your natal chart. I look up other things as well, like online. I really love the Astro Twins, for instance. I really like them. And I have the app, the moon calendar as well, because I'm obsessed with the moon. I've always been obsessed with the moon.
Same.
And yeah, like every single message and other things, even on social media, the things that I see, because I follow obviously a lot of spiritual people, and then the number sequences I see all pointed to these things. And then last night I was like, what the actual fuck? Wow. It was mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful, darling. This has been super awesome.
Yeah, I love
it. I think this is a perfect time. This was a perfect time, literally. Yeah. I love your wall, by the way.
It's great, isn't it? I didn't even paint it, but I love the wall. Yeah.
It's so fucking awesome. It's great color. It's my color as well, and I think it's yours too. From your clothes and the hair, it looks really, really good.
Thank you.
Oof, I just got a big download there. Oh my goodness! I just went through my eyebrow. Right. So I'm super grateful for sharing your journey with me. Super grateful for you sharing your techniques and your suggestions and so on. So much. I don't want to say luck anymore, because I had discussion with someone yesterday about luck, that it's we are conditioned to say good luck, but we do not really believe in that, because it's like, we reincarnate, it's destiny, right? So I was like, so what do you say?
Lots of synchronicity.
Lots of synchronicity. That's exactly what I said. So loads of synchronicity, Patricia.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, darling. I hope you have a lovely evening. What time is it? Yes, evening. And maybe I will have you back, half a year, whatever, however this is gonna go. I'm sure we will have you back, but I'm just, I don't know where is this going yet. But yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Take care, love.
Bye.
Thank you guys for watching, and see ya.